Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Today we are checking out Gordian Quest. This is the start of a Let's Play series for this game, and I'm really excited. I hope you are as well. So what is Gordian Quest? Gordian Quest is a roguelike, turn-based deck building RPG. It's pretty sweet, pretty sick. It just came out recently in early access, so it's available to pick up now. I highly recommend it. I've actually been playing the game for several weeks now, just haven't been able to make content on it, and this game is already looking like a contender for my Game of the Year 2020. I'm really excited to show this game off to you. I hope you enjoy, and you know what? We're just going to get into it. We're just going to check it out. You know, I think the best thing to do is just show you the game. So let's do it. All right, so we're going to start a new campaign. And over the course of this video, hopefully I'll be able to introduce you to the core systems of the game, talk you kind of through everything and show off some, some basic gameplay. And over the course of the next few episodes, we'll get into some more complicated stuff, start to do some team building and all that kind of good stuff there. Now, right now in early access, Act 1 is the only act available, but don't worry, you can get plenty of playtime out of this. All right, so it says, Silver Keep, a town situated on the far, isolated western reaches of the world. Its quiet existence is now threatened by the undead, rising in droves against the living. Come to Silver Keep's defense and uncover a treacherous plot that will span Westmire and the other continents. All right, let's go. So the first thing that you do is you pick a starting hero. So these are all the heroes that are available, and basically you're going to pick one that you're going to start with, but you're able to recruit the rest of them throughout the game. So don't feel like you're stuck with a hero that you don't like. You can swap them out eventually. I've played with all these heroes. And just to give you a quick overview, so if you want a little help picking your starter, so Lucius is like a swords master. He's got a lot of skills that have to deal with just upfront attacking with swords. So each character has a few things going on. So they've got hit points, they've got initiative, that's basically their combat speed. And then there are skills and renown. Renown is something you earn by completing acts, and as you earn renown, you get bonuses for having renown. The skills, these are kind of like the different talent trees that the character can specialize in. So Lucius has swordsmanship, warrior, and leadership. So he can do some kind of tanky stuff, some kind of swordsman stuff. And that's just kind of giving you an overview of how the characters work. Next, you have Catherine, the cleric. She's very paladin-y. She has divine skills, holy warrior skills, and spirit healer. So she can do a lot of holy damage. She can heal. She's got some tanky stuff going on as well. Next, we have Bertram, the ranger. Pretty much exactly what it sounds like. He's got sharpshooter skills, trapper skills, and sentry skills. I actually like Bertram quite a lot. I like the sentry skill line. And I don't know if I'll start with him, but I'll probably pick him up pretty quickly. Next, we have Alphonse, the scoundrel. He is the rogue, and he does big dig damage, is basically what he does. He's got an assassin tree, sabotage tree, and a subterfuge tree. Next, we have Pierre, the spellbinder. He's the mage that you can play as. He's got a evocation, force, and conjuration skill tree. And then finally, we have Ida, the druid, or Ida. I don't know. I'm probably going to say Ida. Devs can correct me if I'm wrong. All right, so she's got primal, elemental, and animal kinship. So she's a druid. She basically uses primal forces. She has like an animal friends skill tree, and she also has I'm going to turn into a big ass bear and just whack the crap out of you skill tree as well. Now, conceptually, I really like Ida, but I wasn't crazy about her when I played. Not really my play style. Some of the ones I've actually liked, and would probably end up being my core party of 3. I like Catherine, Bertram, and Alphonse, and I think I'm going to start out with Catherine. This is the character that I first tried the game with when I was playing in kind of like the beta, and I kind of want to start here again and just start with Catherine. She's really cool, really solid character, good mix of healing, defense, and offense. So yeah, let's take Catherine and jump in. All right, we have access to several different difficulties. We are going to play on normal. It sets the HP at the normal value for heroes, and the adventure will end if our entire party is defeated. You can make things a little more difficult by starting with less HP and giving enemies access to harder abilities in hard mode, and in exchange, you get a 15% increased item rarity across the board. There's also a nightmare mode that's currently locked, so I'm not sure what that does, but I imagine it makes things incredibly difficult. And if you want to tone things down a bit, you could jump over to easy, where your party gets additional HP, and instead of ending the game when your party wipes, you get put back in town with 20% of your HP, and you take a 1-day time penalty. For any of these modes, you can activate the roguelike mode, and the roguelike mode basically gives each hero 1 life. So if your party member dies, they're just dead. And right now there are 6 heroes in the game. You can recruit them all throughout the game. But if 4 of your characters die, you no longer have access to a full party of 3 that you need to play the game. So like it says, too many deaths can definitely affect your ability to complete a run. Like I said, we're going to start on normal. And let's get going. Alright, so we got some little tutorial battles here. You there, you were with the soldiers that came in from the south. With me, the undead ahead look like nasty ones. We'll push through this group and regroup with Captain Roderick and his men in the garrison. If you're handy with that weapon of yours, now would be a good time to use it. Alright, so the NPC guy here, he went ahead and did his move. It's my turn now. So each turn you get a hand of cards that you draw from your deck. Your deck's over here. This is your draw pile. You can check it out and see what all's in here, but not the order that they're in the draw pile. You have your discard pile and your expend pile. So your discard pile is where your cards go after you've played them or after your turn ends. The expend pile is for when you use cards that get removed from the battle once you use them. They're like one-time use cards. You also have access to a certain amount of mana or energy here. So I have 3 out of 3 energy starting the turn. And when I'm looking at a card up here in the top left, this is the cost of the card. And then we've got some other stuff in here. We'll get into this stuff a little bit later on. Basically, you have 2 kinds of skills, really. As far as offense is concerned, you have attacks and you have spells. And that becomes important later on as you get different gear and talents and things. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Blessed Strike. So Blessed Strike will let us attack either one of these guys. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to focus on this guy who's already been damaged by our NPC friend. So we just pull the card and click on that guy, and we're going to do our 8 damage. That card cost 1 mana, so it took 1 of our mana here. We've got 3 left, and this is telling me tutorial in progress, so I can't play this card. So it says now do the same with the defense card, but play it on yourself instead. So this here is going to give us guard. Guard just blocks damage, so we have 30 health and 7 guard. So every skill has an action point cost. So there we go, action point. Shown in the blue orb in the top card's left corner. Spend your remaining AP wisely. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead. We're going to play Debilitating Bolts on this guy up here. All right, and then once we're done, we're going to end our turn. Now the enemies are playing nice one. I must admit I took you for an amateur, but now we might survive this one just yet. By my side, let's take them down together. Okay, so we've got access to new stuff here. It says Officer Aaron has drawn a trigger card. Hover on the icon on him to preview it. Attack while standing beside him to trigger this effect. So he has this attack of opportunity. It says when an ally in the row attacks, follow up with 6 damage. So these vertical columns are rows, and the horizontal columns are lanes. So we're allowed to spend our action points on moving. So we could move back here. You see it's going to cost 1 action point. So now what we can do is use this trigger. And so we have to play an attack skill. So let's do whatever we attack, he's also going to attack for 6 damage. So we kind of probably want to hit this guy here. It looks like all of our attacks are basically going to kill these guys. So his trigger attack might be a little bit useless. But yeah, let's just go ahead and we'll hit this guy. And yeah, so his trigger attack didn't happen because we were already killing these guys too effectively. But if that character had additional health, he would have followed up and hit it. All right, well fought. Let's get a move on before more of them come. The garrison is just up ahead. All right, so we win. We get some XP. We get base XP, last hit bonus XP, and then flawless bonus XP as well. Flawless, this is like per character, and I believe it's if your character didn't take any damage. All right, we get rewards. We can take all these. So we got gold. This is the main currency of the realm that you're going to use for buying items and services. Then we also got a piece of gear. We got an amulet, a braided cord that gives us +1 to initiative. All right, Act 1, Trouble in Westmire. So this is our town. We've got various things going on, but we're just going to get to these as we get to them in the story. So for right now, we want to go ahead and talk to this person at the guild hall. This is Officer Aaron. It says, welcome to the garrison. It isn't much, but it'll have to do on such short notice. Where are my manners? I'm Officer Aaron of the town's guard. Wish we had met under better circumstances, naturally. This here is our guild hall. We've converted it to house survivors like yourself, so make yourself at home. In the meantime, you should speak with Captain Roderick. He's in charge around here. Alright, so let's go down and talk to him. Captain, we have a cleric with us. Pretty handy with her mace, from what I've seen. At ease, Officer Aaron. And greetings, traveler. Your arrival to our fair city couldn't have come at a worse time. The undead curse that lays on this land has been a thorn in our side for centuries, but an attack of this magnitude? Unheard of. Foul magic has disabled the waypoints as well. Smells like the work of enemy action, if you ask me. Indeed, officer. Anyway, Captain Roderick's the name. I'm in charge of this garrison. We've already evacuated the civilians to High Home before the incident with the waypoints, so it's just battle essential personnel here. The situation's dire. We've got our hands full tending to the injured, so I urge you to help my men push back the undead in the immediate area. The dead outnumber us 3-1 out there. My most pressing concern now is the garrison's storehouse up north. It's been overtaken by local gangs, but if you can wrestle control back from them, it would greatly help the defense effort. Leave it to us, sir. I've got a good feeling about this one. Godspeed, and keep your wits about you out there. Before we leave, let's see if you can recruit help from the guild hall. Things will go a lot smoother with another pair of hands. Okay, so we got a couple of options here. So we can pop over to the guild hall. And this is going to allow us to recruit our next long-term party member. So the guild hall is wide and airy, originally designed to accommodate to crowds for the town's festivities. Now it's a temporary refuge for sullen-faced adventurers nursing all manners of injuries. Most shirk away as you approach, unwilling to head back out. You are about to write off finding a hire when you run into a fellow adventurer. So now we get to pick. So we have Lucius, a mercenary of few kind words who escorted your convoy here. He seemed like the stoic and dependable kind, so this is our sword guy. Pierre, a spellbinder. He had joined your convoy from the Citadel on a trip to survey the lands of Westmire. This is the mage. Alphonse, a well-known personality in taverns across the land. A troublemaker, but the kind you can count on. Alphonse, I believe... Is Alphonse the rogue? Or the ranger? Can't remember. I think it's the rogue. And then they wore a ragged veil that covered their face. Gain a new party member at random. Interesting. Out of all these, I kind of want to take Alphonse, but I also kind of want to see what I get for random. So let's do random. Lucius the Sword Hand cracks his knuckles. I arrived a few hours earlier with the first wave of survivors. Helped out where I can, but I'll be much more helpful out there with my sword. You could definitely use a warrior of his caliber. Okay. You leave the guild hall, new companion in tow. Humble beginnings, but a beginning nonetheless. Okay, so we have two other things to look at here. We have Sister Ophelia. By the light, you look like you've seen better days. I will do what I can to heal your wounds, but anything beyond that, well, resources are strained at the moment as we fend off the undead. Please do what you can to protect the innocents here. If necessary, return to the sanctuary for further healing. Light guide you, traveler. Okay, so when you come to Sister Ophelia, she will heal your health by visiting the sanctuary. This is also where you can pay to resurrect a fallen hero, and you can give alms to have a 50% chance to earn fate, which is a currency that you can spend throughout your venture on different options. Usually this involves re-rolling a skill check or something along those lines, which we'll see a little bit later on. For right now, we're good. We got healed up. And we were already full health, but there we go. That's the sanctuary. And then we also have June the blacksmith. So this is where you can buy weapons and gear. Something I really like here is it shows her stock. Anything with a red background is something that the current character you have selected can't use. So this is where you're going to buy gear and equipment. You'll see if I switch over to Lucius, nothing changes for him because we basically have a bow and a bunch of magic items here, and neither one of them can use it. We can sell stuff that we've picked up if we want to, but we're not going to get too much into this right now. Just because we haven't had the opportunity to really do much customization with our party. We'll come back around to it before we head out of town. So let's jump into our party menu. This is where we can customize and look at the stats for our different party members. So we got Catherine, we've got Lucius. You could see what's in their deck currently. You can also see the talents that they have. This is basically their passive abilities. You can check out the equipment that you have available and also the resources that you have available. Over here, this is where you see your hero's gear, and you can equip different items and see how they affect everything. You can also check out your hero's stats here, and then there's a button here for formation. So what this does is this sets the position that this hero will be in when you start a battle normally. So assuming that there's no special effects going on, you can set it. Let's say that you were going to turn her into a healer and you really wanted her on the back row. You could switch her to back row here. So during a normal fight, she would start out somewhere in the back row. We're going to keep her up in the front row for right now because we haven't really specialized her into anything. Same with Lucius. He should be in the front row as well. And then we do have one piece of equipment, which is a braided cord. This is going to get +1 to initiative. So she's got 11. He's got 13. So we're going to go ahead and beef hers up a little bit. There we go. So now she's up to 12. And then these potions here, you can do a couple things with these. You can either drag them here to use them right away, just like you would use them from your bag in any other RPG. Or you can equip them into these slots here, and then this character will be able to use those potions during battle. So she has one. We're going to go ahead and give one to Lucius. And that's basically all you really need to know about the hero menu for now. We're going to see some more aspects of this a little bit later on. Next, we have our journal. Our journal just kind of keeps track of the different quests that we have and the ones that we've completed. And let's jump back over to town. Let's check the blacksmith and see if we have any gear we want to spend money on. So the way gear works is it does a couple of things. Usually there's some kind of passive to it. Like you can see here, +1 to dexterity based challenges. Or here, grants field awareness +1 card draw. Sometimes the gear will come with an additional card. And what happens is when you equip the piece of gear, the card that comes with it gets added to that particular character's deck. So when we're looking at these, we want to look and see, okay, do we want any of these cards in any of our hero decks? So here we have an Ivory Circlet, gain 2 channel, gain 2 might, apply 1 root to self. We've got field awareness, gain 3 guard when the ally in the row attacks. This is a trigger ability. So like I said, we're not going to get too much into these right now, but I just wanted to show you kind of what they look like. And you'll see these come up as rewards when we fight a few different battles. So we're done in town. We've got our new hero. We put our equipment on. We checked everything out. So the next thing to do is to go out there and start questing. And to do that, we're going to jump over to the map. Ready to head out? We'll have to loop around the garrison to get to the storehouse. Steady as we go. If things start getting too tough, we should head back to Sister Ophelia for healing. Okay, so this is the map. On the map, you're going to see various nodes, and the different nodes do different things. Right now, the only ones we're seeing are battles, because we're still in kind of like the tutorial phase. So let's jump in. Basically what you're seeing, these are normal battles. This is an elite battle, I believe, and then this is a random event or encounter. All right, the Restless Dead. An undead horde marches upon Silverkeep. Captain Roderick and his men have set up a garrison in the city center and are preparing to counterattack. Aid the effort by taking out the stragglers in the area. So let's go ahead and go. And now we're in. Alright, hover over an enemy's intent to see their next action and target. Use this info to strategize your actions. So we can hover over this, and we can see that he's going to deal 4 damage to Lucius, 4 damage to Catherine, and 4 damage to Catherine as well. Okay, so let's take a look at what Lucian can do. We've got Slash, so this can hit in a line, it looks like right here. Kind of tells us like, okay, we can target in a line, and usually you can target in a line either the one in front of you or the ones that are next to you. So here we've just got 2 lanes. We're gonna have more lanes later on, but he can target in this lane or this lane with this Slash ability. Same thing with Keen Strike. Parry is a self ability that gives him 5 guard. And then Show of Force is a skill buff ability. It's going to grant him 2 might to himself and allies in selection. For every ally, he gets an additional +1 might. Might lets him do 30% more damage for the next X amount of hits. So this is showing it's a little cross shape. So if we hover over here, you'll see it'll hit everyone. So we're going to go ahead, we'll cast Might. So that should have given her, she's got 2 might, and he's got 4 might because he got the initial 2 plus 1 per ally that gained might. Next we have Keen Strike. So deal 10 damage, gain 2 critical opener. So this says when your next opener is when played, the AP cost of a non-opener card in your hand is reduced by 1, which means we'll get a free ability, which sounds awesome. So let's go ahead and keep hammering on this guy that our NPC attacked. Boom, 13 damage. So our Slash is now free. We'll follow up and hit this guy. And now nobody's attacking him, but we'll go ahead and we'll cast Parry on him. Use up our last action point. Up here you can see the turn order. So next up is going to be Catherine, and we can see what's in her hand as well. This is potentially important because you might have trigger abilities in your hand, and you might need to see, who drew what as the game progresses. All right, let's end his turn, go over to Catherine. So we got some guard abilities, which is probably something we're going to want to play since she's going to get hit for 8 damage from these 2 guys. We've got a regular old strike. We've got Righteous Blow. This is going to deal 17 damage. Pretty intense. And it also gains 3 channel. So channel is a special mechanic that reduces the AP cost of channeled spells. And we'll see some of those a little bit later on, but it's always a good idea to have some channel on Catherine. We also have Holy Force. Deal 7 damage, reveal a random temp common heal card. So temp cards are they last until they're discarded. So if we were to play this right now, we might get a temporary healing card and we'd have 1 AP to spend it, but I know that we already want to spend at least 1 AP on a block card, so I don't think it's a good idea to deal 7 damage to get a card that we're probably not going to play because we're going to want to guard. Also, all of our heroes currently have full health, so we wouldn't even be doing anything super effective by getting this common heal card. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to Righteous Blow attack this guy, and we're hitting him for 23 because we have the additional might. So the might for the next 2 attacks that we do, we're going to get 30% increased damage. And then we're going to go ahead and cast Shield Block. So now we have 7 block. So we'll end our turn. Alright, so we're going to take 4 damage there and 4 damage there, but only 1 point came off of our health because of the guard. Or because of the block. Alright, so we are back over to Lucius. We've got Steel Edge. Deal 14 damage per AP spent, and this is a finisher, which means it's going to consume all of our action points. But that means it's going to do, let's see, 42 damage, just baseline, but he has might, so we're going to get an additional 30% on top of that. So as you can see, ooh, okay, it's already calculated into the card. Got it. There we go. Oh, no, there it was. 55. Cool. Alright, so base, last hit bonus. So he killed he killed 2 enemies, so he got last hit bonuses. She did not. He didn't take any damage, so he got bonus XP. She did. Okay, and then rewards, we got more gold, we've got a ring, and we've got a null stone, which is a rare crafting reagent used in disenchanting items. Okay, so let's jump in to our heroes. We got a couple new pieces of equipment. All right, so we have a ruby ring, which is going to give somebody some fire resist. Right now, I don't think it really matters, so we'll just put it on her. Jump back to the map. And let's keep on going. All right, so we have Pommel Strike. We didn't look at this one before. So this will deal 7 damage and apply 7 vulnerable. So vulnerable makes it so that the target takes X amount of damage on the next hit. So this basically deals 14 damage. You just have to deal an additional attack to make it happen. So we'll do Pommel Strike here, and then if we can hit for a solid, let's do our Keen Strike on this guy here. So the reason, here's what I'm thinking. If we use Keen Strike, one of these is going to get discounted. What we want to do is we want to be able to cast at least 1 parry, and we want to cast Slash. Slash is going to kill this guy because it'll deal 10 damage plus the 7 from vulnerable, so it'll deal 17. But he is going to get attacked for 6 damage, so we're going to want to put some block out. So what I want to do is hit someone with Keen Strike, get one of these cards for free. That way we can cast our Slash and our parry guaranteed. So we're going to hit this guy with the 10 damage because we already know we're going to be able to hit someone else. We're going to be able to kill him anyway. Alright, so then we slash this guy. He dies. We still have 1 action point to cast guard. Or parry, which gives us guard. Okay. Moving on to Catherine. Right now, he's getting attack for 6. She's getting attack for 6. So we will want to play a shield block for sure. Yeah, so let's go ahead and we'll get that out of the way. So we have Debilitating Bolt. So this is an example where order kind of matters. We have 2 action points left. If we play Debilitating Bolt, it'll deal 5 damage and apply 5 vulnerable. If we deal Blessed Strike, it'll deal 8 damage and 1 channel. If we did this first, we would get the 8 damage and 1 channel. Then we would get 5 damage from Debilitating Bolt. Instead, we want to play Debilitating Bolt first. And we'll do it on this guy. And now when we hit with Blessed Strike, we're going to deal 8 damage plus the 5 from the vulnerable, which will finish this guy off. All right, we got Steel Edge. Just finish this guy off with that again. All right, so Catherine has leveled up. We got some gold and we got a mace. Okay, so you've gained a skill point from leveling up. Spend it on your skill grid by clicking on this icon beside the hero portrait. You can also access the skill grid from your hero page. All right, so we can just click here, but that's pretty obvious. We'll jump into the hero panel, and this is where you can click on the hero panel to spend your skill point. So you have a skill grid, and this kind of reminds me of kind of like the sphere grid from Final Fantasy X. It's pretty interesting. So you start here in the middle, and then you pick a direction to branch out into. And depending on where you go, you get different things. After you spend 5 skill points, you unlock your next chunk of the grid. So we have a couple of things going on. Anything with a question mark just gives you a random skill from any of your schools. So you can, and your schools are these down here: Divine, Holy Warrior, Spirit Healer. So you can right click and you can look at the different cards that are available. A lot of these are not shown because I haven't discovered them yet, or I haven't unlocked them. Each one of these with a symbol relates specifically to one of your schools. So this one here will give you a specific divine card. So if we click in here, you're going to see this is a shorter list because it's specifically going to give me a divine card. And if you look at this little icon here, that shows you the school that this card is associated with. Over here, we have the Holy Warrior one. And then we also have Divine again, and then Spirit Healer. Now, along with this, you have these nodes on the outside that do something different. So here, you can gain +3 maximum HP. Here, you can master a skill in your deck. So when you master a skill, you basically upgrade the card and it becomes more powerful. Here you can discard a card from your deck. So this is a way to get rid of cards that you don't want, maybe get rid of some of the basic cards that you don't want to use very often, or maybe you got a random card from here that you didn't particularly want, or you wanted to try and you decided you didn't like it. This is a good way to get rid of those. And then down here you can learn a new talent, and talents again are the passives. Now, for me, I like to pick up a new talent when I can. So I usually try to head over to a new talent, grab that, and then figure out what I want to do. This also gives me a little bit of time to play the character and maybe see which of the different schools I kind of want to specialize them in. So we're going to head straight over towards this new talent and just grab a random skill here. So we're going to unlock the node. And we have a couple of options here. So you can pick a new card to add to your deck. You will also gain 1 strength, dexterity, or intelligence based on the skill. So if we were to pick up Penitence, this is in the Spirit Healer school. If I click on it, you can see that this is going to increase strength. So my base strength score will go from 13 to 14. And the bonus modifier, which is used on rolls, will go from +1 to +2. Now, I'm talking about a lot of this stuff and kind of breezing over it, but that's because you don't really need to know about it yet. And we'll get into it a little bit later. We'll talk about rolls and bonus modifiers and all that kind of stuff in a different video. Okay, we can pick Devotion. This is our divine tree. This is going to increase our intelligence. And we can pick Wide Swing, which is from the... this is just looks like a combat card, actually. Doesn't look like it's associated with a skill tree from what I can tell. But this will increase our strength as well. The other thing that we can do is we can choose to replace an existing skill in your deck with a random new one. So this is kind of a hybrid between getting rid of a card and getting a new one. So you do get rid of a card, but you get a totally random one. You don't get to pick one from over here that is going to, you know what it is, and you can specifically put it into your deck. So let's take a look at these cards over here and see if we really want any of them. So we have Wide Swing. This is going to cost 2 action points. It hits in a line and also hits adjacent, or it hits enemies beside the target in adjacent lanes. So that's pretty cool. AoE ability. It's a physical attack. We have Devotion. So this you cast on yourself. It consumes all your channel, and for every 3 consumed, raise your max channel by 2. Interesting. So this will allow us to stack more channel so that we can get more action point discounts on our channel abilities. That's really interesting. That's really unique. I think if we picked it up right now, it wouldn't be very helpful, but it might be helpful long term. So strong consideration. Then we also have Penitence. This is an attack, draw, AoE, deal 5 damage, cleave. Okay, so we already have like deal 8 damage cleave over here. This is a smaller cleave, but you can consume 1 channel to reveal a temporary common or rare heal card for each hit, and you get to keep 1 of them. Oh, so it's a cleave attack with a little bit of card generation, and that card generation is healing. This is a really good looking all around skill. Get to do a little AoE damage. We get to use up some of the channel, which is good because we have ways to generate it right now. And we can reveal some common and rare heal cards, which gives us a little bit of healing. I actually like Penitence quite a bit. I think I'm going to take this one. These are all pretty expensive at 2, but I like it. Let's take it. All right, so we put our 1 point in, and we can jump back. We have a mace that we picked up. So this is an example of a item that comes with a card. So this is a common blunt weapon. They can both use it, and it comes with Press the Attack. It's a 0 cost ability that deals 3 damage. Add a copy of the skill into your discard pile. Deal plus 3 damage every time this skill is played this turn. So this just generates a bunch of free attacks. This seems totally fine. Let's go ahead and let's take a look. Like for her, we've got... I think it would be good for her to have some cheap stuff. Like he's got 1s, 111. Like all his stuff is cheap except for Steel Edge. So I think I want to put the mace on her, because this will give her a 0 cost attack that she can use. And since she has several 2 cost abilities and a 3 cost ability, I think it'd be nice to have that as part of her kit. So let's give her the mace. So now if we jump over, you're going to see Press the Attack is part of her skill kit. All right, moving on. Let's do it. The Restless Dead. I never read this story one. Oh well. An undead horde marches upon Silverkeep. Yep, okay, it's the same thing. Good. Yeah. All right. Okay, so we've just expanded out into 3 different lanes instead of just 2. So the grid is officially bigger, and this is where stuff starts to get a little more interesting. So you can see now that in this case, my slash can still hit the lane in front of me, and it can hit the adjacent lane. It cannot hit this lane up here. If I were to move him to the middle, it would hit the lane in front of me and the adjacent lanes. So positioning really starts to make a difference now that we've opened up this 3x3 grid. But what we're gonna do is, I think let's go ahead. We're gonna move him up. We're gonna do show of force. This is gonna give everybody might. And then we're gonna take a look at what everyone's doing. So he's going to deal 2 damage to a target in an adjacent lane and then move to that lane. He's going to gain 4 guard and 5 thorns. And he's gonna deal 6 damage to our paladin. So 2 damage is not that big of a deal. If we want to keep our like untouched bonus or whatever for XP, we might want to block it. But we could also just deal 10 damage to something. And I think that's what we're gonna do. Let's see, what did Catherine get? Oh, she's got penitence. We got penitence. So we have the cleave. Okay, I think we're just gonna switch positions and cleave this whole row with her. It means we're gonna take some damage, but I just really want to use penitence. So let's go ahead and we'll deal some damage. We'll work on this archer up here. All right, so we're gonna move down, and then we're gonna use penitence on this guy in the middle. So they're all gonna get hit for 10 because she has the bonus from might. We don't have any channel to consume, but that's fine. I really just want to do the big AoE attack here. Now, one thing I didn't pay attention to is this guy had a trigger attack. So if we would have moved into the same row as him, then we would have been able to trigger his attack, possibly kill this archer. But I don't know, sometimes the positioning skills, they're nice when you can get them. They do matter. But for right now, I'm just trying to focus on showing off some of the cards and the different abilities. These kind of entry level tutorial abilities aren't too bad. Okay, so something you may not have noticed there that I want to point out is because we switched positions with these two, the attacks that were directed at those areas were done to those characters. So she took 2 damage from the skeleton's attack. He took the 6 from the archer's attack. So just keep that in mind. Let's see, we can basically kill this guy, or we could switch and do a good chunk of damage to this guy. Well, we don't need the full. Let's go ahead and, well, what did Catherine draw? We got Holy Force, Righteous Blow, so she can kill the guy with Righteous Blow. So yeah, let's go ahead and switch, and we'll do Steel Edge on this guy for a big solid chunk of damage. Then with Catherine, we're gonna do Righteous Blow, kill him. And it'd be nice if we could smite this guy, but we can't. Let's use a shield block, even though we're not really gonna need it because this guy's not attacking anything. All right, let's take him out. All right, we got some gold and we got a dire gutter. You certainly got a knack for staying alive. The garrison should be a little safer now with your help. That leaves our main objective, the garrison storehouse. It's right up ahead through the streets. We had to barricade it off from the garrison when the bandits attacked. With luck, we'll be able to deal with them without too much trouble. Alright, so we're in a good position health-wise. Let's go ahead and click in to Lucius and get him a level up. So like I said, I want to go ahead and head straight for this new talent. We've got swordsmanship, warrior, and leadership. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we got a parry, just a generic parry. We have dual wield, which lets us clone a card in our hand. Then we have on guard, gain 6 guard, and draw a card. So this is a better version of parry. And I think I want to pick this up. I like the card draw in the guard. Lets us cycle through our deck a little bit. And maybe eventually we can cut out one of the parries and draw this one more often. Dual wield is interesting, but I feel like I want more action points before I take something like dual wield, potentially. Although if we can get the action point cost down to 0 for this, it can be quite good. But I just don't know that we're going to end up with the synergies for this to make this really useful. And on guard just seems like a solid, all right, pick. It's going to boost our dexterity. They all are, so we'll take on guard. Okay. All right, let's do it. To the storehouse. The garrison storehouse contains useful equipment, but it has been overtaken by raiders. Chase them out? Maybe. Actually, we got that mace. So this says starts battle with 1 crit, plus 5% lightning resist, and gives shattering strike, which deals 11 damage to all targets in a lane. Let's give this to him. It gives him a little bit of an AoE ability and something a little more expensive to spend his action points on if we need to. You know, I'm not set on this being in like his build or anything, but you know, just for the time being, it's fine. On the way to the storehouse, you pass by 3 soldiers nursing an assortment of injuries. They advise caution when dealing with the bandits. Front door's blockaded, and they have crossbows waiting for you if you get in, one of them says. Down the road, you arrive at the garrison storehouse. A bandit peers out from an arrow slit on the 2nd floor. Scram unless you've got a death wish, he sneers before heading back inside. The front door doesn't budge when you push on it. It might give way with some force, but the earlier soldier's warning comes to mind. So we have a couple of options here. So this is where these skill checks and stuff come into. So we're getting into this here. We can force the door or search for another point of entry. So we can pick one hero to attempt a might check, which is strength base. The chance of success for Catherine is 50%. For Lucius is 55%. Or we can pick a hero to attempt a perception check. Catherine has a 55% chance of success. Lucius has a 45%. So I'm going to force the door. I'm going to tell these bandits, you know what? I don't care about your traps. Let's do it. So we're now attempting a challenge, a test of your skill and luck. Picking an appropriate skill for the task at hand will grant a higher bonus on your dice roll, but note that the skill you used will be exhausted until your next rest. Roll higher than the challenge difficulty to succeed. Remember, there are always consequences of failing the roll. Okay, so you square up and attempt to kick the door in. So we need to roll a 12 to succeed. Lucius has a +3 modifier, so whatever we roll, he's going to get +3 to it, which brings this down to a 9 is what we need to roll. Catherine, on the other hand, only has a 12, or a +2, which brings her down to 10. If we succeed, the challenge is cleared. If we fail, somebody takes 6 damage. Now, Lucius taking 6 damage would really suck because he's down to 20, but he has the highest chance of success. So what we want to do now is we want to pick a skill to use. So skills grant bonus modifiers based on the challenge type. Basically, instead of a +3, we can increase this by choosing a skill. Now, this is going to show us what bonus each skill will give us. The thing we have to keep in mind is that the skill that we use will not be available until we rest again. So looking at these, we've got some pretty decent ones with our basic attacks and stuff here. I'm not super crazy about those, so let's jump over and see what options Catherine has. Does she have anything? Just a regular strike. So yeah, it does look like we want to use Lucius. And I think we'll probably just use one of his generic slash cards. This is going to give us +5 bonus, so now we have a +8. We only need to roll a 4 in order to succeed. And we rolled a 18, which was absolutely ridiculous. So this skill is exhausted, and we recover it by resting at an inn, camping overnight, or using certain consumables. All right, so the door breaks open in splinters, revealing the interior of the storehouse. So Lucius also gained XP for completing the skill check. You count a total of 3 bandits, and a moment of tense standoff ensues. Then a brutish-looking man by the supply crates in the back yells out in anger, pointing at you. 2 other bandits wielding crossbows by the door take aim and fire. So we have another challenge here, a test of reflex. Pick a hero to attempt a reflex check, which is based on dexterity. Lucius has a 75% chance to succeed, so let's pick him again. This is going to exhaust another one of his cards. We have a +3, I think. Let's just roll. Alright, sweet. It says you drop low, attempting to avoid the volley. Lucius gains some additional XP. You close in on the bandits, and the battle is joined. Okay, so this is where we get introduced to kind of static objects that can be on the battlefield. So this one here is just a wooden wall. It does have HP. It kind of gets in the way. You can put like a ranged character back here, and then melee characters have to go through the wall to get to them. It's pretty interesting stuff. All right, so this guy has a trigger ability. I think we might want to try to use it, but we also do have Steel Edge, which is just big damage. Big damage right away. And I think since we have it, we're just gonna, boom, just chunk that guy down right away. Okay, we've got our cleave. Let's see, he's going to deal 9 damage to her and knock her back. I don't think we can deal 24 damage to kill him. It looks like we're probably going to get 8 damage in. Maximum 15 damage, so he's not going to die. So we are going to want shield block. So I think we're going to double shield block and just hit this guy in the face. Let's see. Let's move here. Let's press the attack. And I did that so we could get the combo off. Then we're going to shield block. Ouch. That was rough. Alright, so now we have burn, and this sets cards in your hand on fire, and if you play a burning card, you take 1 fire damage. Hey, what do you know? We got Shattering Strike. Let's move here, and let's do Shattering Strike. This is going to kill this guy and get him out of the way, while also dealing 14 to the guy behind him. Okay, so we've got a couple of different cards that are on fire. Let's see. Let's hit this guy with Debilitating, and then let's hit him with Righteous Blow and get rid of him. Very nice heal. Let's see, he's going to attack her in the back, so I think we just need to deal as much damage as we can and then get out of the way so other people can deal damage as well. Oh, we got a nice couple of combos here. So we have just smite this guy. He's gone. Nice. So Lucius got a little bit ahead on the XP there from doing all the different skill checks, which is not bad. Now, victory for us. Let's head back to the garrison. All right, so we just click back, go back to the garrison. All right, let's talk to Captain Roderick. we obtained renown. So this is granted to all heroes in the party upon completion of this adventure. It allows you to customize and unlock more starting perks for the heroes in future runs. Excellent work out there. Officer Aaron, head over with some of the reserves to secure the area. Right away, Captain. Now, even as we speak, there are battles being waged on multiple fronts along the perimeter of the garrison. A few adventurers like yourselves have been dispatched to 2 choke points to hold the line. My resources are stretched thin as it is. I'll need you to head out to support the defense effort. Make sure none of the undead break through. Okay, so we can pop out to the map real quick, and you can see here we have basically 2 options. We can go this way and recruit the rogue, go this way and recruit the ranger. It's kind of up to us what we want to do. Check our journal. We pop back over to town. We got all the same stuff. So we're at 19 and 14. If we go visit Sister Ophelia, we get healed up to full health, which is awesome. We could pop into the blacksmith and check out what's available here. We have some shoes. Dash is not a bad ability. Move to any cell and gain 4 guard. It's very mobile. And then a bunch of stuff that Lucius can use. Deal 10 damage, regain 2 HP. 8 damage, draw a card. Lots of good stuff there as well. We got some bracers. Gain 5 critical and draw 1 card. Lucius is kind of our single attack guy. Let's go ahead and give him the bracers. Okay. So our next decision is going to be, do we go recruit the rogue or the ranger? Honestly, I like them both a lot. The ranger is really good at dealing tons of damage to a single target, or the rogue, and the ranger is good at long range attacks and also can do the whole sentry turret type setup stuff. I think with our current party composition, ranger's probably a really good option to give us someone who can attack from range, since both of these characters are pretty up close. Catherine's a little bit of a hybrid because she has some spell abilities, but I think we're going to end up going and getting the ranger. But that's going to be all for this episode of the Gordian Quest Let's Play. This was a little bit of a longer one because we're getting into the game, introducing things, but we're going to keep on playing this campaign for the next several weeks, and we're just going to carry on through the campaign. This is the Let's Play series. This is my first start at one of these. It's going to go on for quite a while. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about Gordian Quest. It's really awesome. It's a lot of fun. I know we barely scratched the surface here, but there's a lot of depth to it and a lot more. You're going to see this map get pretty crazy pretty quick. So, Gordian Quest. When we return, we will recruit the ranger and see where our journey takes us. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of Gordian Quest and whether you're excited for more episodes to come. I hope you're having fun in whatever it is that you're doing. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.